The question of why learning to teach is superior to simply teaching as you were taught contains a number of factors like the style and personality of the teacher, the learners, and the social and cultural context. These factors change constantly, so an instructor who is knowledgeable about pedagogy will be able to adapt to situations that his or her instructor may not have experienced. The social and cultural context in which karate is practiced varies from place to place as well as over time. In the context where karate developed, namely the old Ryukyu kingdom, the group of practitioners was small, high class, almost exclusively male, their clothing was different, and many of the Peichin class kimochi were using karate for the purpose of domestic law enforcement, presumably against people who were unarmed and untrained. In early 20th century Japan, karate became militaristic in nature. Uniforms became standardized, and training emphasized conformity and unquestioning loyalty. This was undoubtedly influenced by the escalation in Japan of militarism and nationalistic pride. In modern times, karate is generally used for domestic self-defense, but perhaps its holistic, competitive, and fitness elements are what are most in demand. As a form of recreation, karate has reached its height in popularity. Even something as simple as the popular choices in clothing can vastly affect the way a technique is executed. Because of these evolving social, cultural, and historical factors, you can't simply teach it the way you were taught. Today, martial arts are a mainstream part of culture, whereas in previous generations they were much more exclusive. In the information age, it is reasonable to expect instructors to know about other fighting traditions and to incorporate techniques from those disciplines into their practices. The assumption that our assailants will always be ignorant about martial arts is simply no longer valid. As well as being cognizant of social and cultural variations, a good instructor should be able to adapt to variance in learners too. Your learners may not be the same as your teachers were, so trying to teach them the same way may not be effective. Varying size, strength, body types, age, gender, and personalities demand that the teacher be able to creatively impart the content of study, not just follow a set method of delivery. In the words of Choshin Shibana, karate, as it is transmitted, changes every few years. It happens because a teacher must continue to learn and adds his personality to the teachings. There is an old Okinawan martial arts saying that states that karate is much like a pond. In order for the pond to live, it must have fresh water. If this is not done, then the pond becomes stagnant and dies. This is the final reason why studying the principles of teaching is so important. It keeps our art inspired and always evolving.